wanted to just start. Hi, my name is Aziza Red, and welcome back to CT Time. Woo! Okay, but before we get started into the actual intro, I just want to talk about the fact that we are going to be on TV. So this podcast is actually going to be one of the first that is actually being able to be viewed on Spotify. So hopefully that this is the first step before we're getting on actual television. So if you'd rather watch us than hear us, you can actually do both now. Just click on our Spotify link and search CT Time concerning topics. Okay, listen. So this talk has been going on for a while now in several podcasts and relationship blog groups, sometimes even local radio station and store conversations. As far as this goes, the subject has divided the sexes in so many ways just to determine how a couple should economically handle their relationship. Women are saying that the man is either broke or lazy, and men are saying that women are just self-entitled. But today, hopefully we can get down to the bottom of this phenomenon we are calling the 50-50 relationship. Right now we have with us Dominique. You guys may know these are both returning guests actually. Dominique and Chris K. Dominique, you first. Can you just remind the people who you are?
Yeah, I'm Dom Del Cielo. My full name is Dominique, but I go by Dom. And I am a YouTuber. I do make Mythology Monday, and Mondays on YouTube. I'll have an episode on Wednesday, which I call Third Monday, so I'm excited about that.
Awesome. I definitely have to tune in for Mythology Monday. It sounds super lit. Chris K, can you give us a short introduction?
Absolutely. So yeah, again, Chris K. I am an entrepreneur and an aspiring serial entrepreneur. I'm in marketing for Level Up Media, and then also the new brand Nerd Slur, which is just coming out. So
Nerd Slur.
Yeah.
Nerd Slur.
We'll have to talk about that later. But yeah, hoping I can bring some value to everybody with this conversation.
I actually am pretty interested in Nerd Slur. I've heard about her Mythology Monday, and I've checked out Dom's podcast a couple times. But am I saying it? Am I putting it together right in my head? Is it like a nerd slur, like a hustler, or a nerd slur, like a term for nerd?
Be quick about it. Thank you for letting me plug myself. I was sitting and I was talking to someone about how growing up the word nerd used to be a slur. And how I was just like kind of blessed to be like a larger person, so I didn't get picked on for being a nerd of all kinds. And not a lot of people were able to do that. They were picked on, traumatized, all kinds of things just for being themselves. And for some reason, the word slur and nerd just kind of like worked for me. Mm-hmm. So then I took off and just wanted to kind of bring awareness to that and the fact that now nerd culture is like the very ground floor base for all pop culture. So, just to pay homage to that and to grow the culture, for nerds everywhere. So I just thought it was like a clever little play. And it would also be polarizing because some people would be like, slur, oh my God, no. And others would be like, yeah. So that's where I'm at with that.
Hey, but watch out how you throw around that word cereal. Okay.
Yeah, I was like, hey, what's he
gonna say? You had me nervous. I'm like, is he gonna admit to something? What? He's a cereal. What?
Like continuous or like but I was like,
definitely had me on the edge of my seat with that
wait
word.
A minute.
But hey, as a nerd that's grown up, are you married, single, in a relationship?
I am none of the above.
None of them. So you're not married, single, or in a relationship. That's everything.
I was married for 7 years. I learned, it was a learning lesson, and there was a lot of love there, but it didn't work out. So here I am now. Right now, I'm just doing the work. That's my thing, and hopefully, something shakes from that. But I'm not really looking for it. If it happens, it does.
This man said neither. It's sounding really tender right now.
I get in my feelings.
None of the three, huh?
Able to keep myself warm, you know what I'm saying? But it's cool.
Okay. Red flags. Dominique,
I'm
are
super
you
single.
super single?
Yeah.
Okay. And
I'm
as you guys know, we are talking about the 50-50 relationship in the 21st century.
Mhm.
Any predated views on that so far?
I can be very concise about it. For me, I feel like uh, whatever there's like some EQ that has to be involved in there, and whatever works for you and your partner is just that. And it's nobody else's business. If my partner is okay with 50-50 and that's what we're doing, then that's what we're
Mhm.
doing. If you are a man who wants 50-50, find you a woman that's willing to do 50-50. If you're a woman who wants a man that's, just the ultimate provider, find you a man that fits that narrative. And, let's stay away from
Can
bad
we start from the
mouthing
base though?
the counterpart.
Chris, do you feel like women these days really appreciate their man?
Again, that it's perspective.
I
Yes,
mean, you've been in and out. If you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
me.
29.
Oh, I'm 36.
Both of you guys.
I'm 36.
So, and when you guys date, do you usually date the same age range as yourself, or just the same age range? Period. You know.
I've dated the same. I've dated older. I've dated younger.
Yeah, I've done
Much
all
younger.
those.
So you're able to actually compare the generations, really, because you're a man that was able to date older and younger to see exactly where their heads are at.
Yes.
Can you compare the younger generation to yours or a generation older than yours as far as how women treat their men?
Let me say
That's
this.
what I'm asking.
The younger generation is much more forgiving, and that's obvious because they're younger. And the younger generation is also much more 50-50. A lot of the younger women are, in my case anyway, I can't speak for everyone, but have been like, I'd love to pay for dinner. Like, why are you pulling out your, like, let me pay a bill. Like, what are you, like, I don't want you to do everything. They have that thing where they just want to do it all, and it's like a role reversal almost. um it's really interesting, whereas the older women, we come from that time where being a man and being the provider of all was like a thing. And I think where we get lost in that nowadays is that the economics behind it is so different. So it's not even so much as an appreciation thing, it's an awareness thing right now, that it's not necessarily the same as it was, you know, even 10 years ago when it comes to taking care of a household together.
You can even kind of see it in the music now, versus when women wanted to cater to their man and do everything for them and look up to them and think of them as that Hercules that was providing them everything, and that person they just couldn't wait to get home so they can eat. You feel me? Waiting all day so they can eat a meal in front of you, versus the women these days that's they're gonna eat without you. You know, they're gonna do what they're gonna do. They're gonna pay that bill if you're not gonna pay it, you know? Do you feel like
The men are too.
that in itself is making relationships not last as long?
It depends on like where you come from and your background, and what values or morals was instilled in you to begin with. Like, I grew up as, you have to provide, you have to take care of everything from top to bottom. And like, I used to cop an attitude years ago, like, "Man, what are you doing? Put your money away. You can't pay for anything. Get away." Like, I would literally, like, no, I don't like that. I like to make the money, give it to you, and you pay the bills. I put $100 in my pocket and I go on about my business. Nowadays, that's different. It's all about how you were brought up, in my opinion. If that's what your parents put in you, then cool. If it's not.
So he touched on this just like a little bit in his first statement. He was saying that older women are quicker to, like, ask for something versus the younger generation, basically. I kind of stirred your words a little bit. I stirred your words just a little bit.
Dominique, do you feel like of being a provider is a lot higher in the older crowd, in my opinion?
Dom, do you feel like it's kind of important to figure out where a man is standing before you move forward with him?
Oh, most definitely. Like, I think
so. It's almost like you don't even need to need him. You just want to make sure that if you did need him, he would have you, you know?
Yeah, kind of like that. I think with people who are like, I think millennials and Gen Z, you have a mixture. Some people, there are a few people who want to be like a stay-at-home mom and live that kind of lifestyle, but most of us want to have a career. And so we're like, okay, if I have a career, if we're both working, like there's no way I'm doing all the housework. Because I mean, as someone who's a millennial, my mom's like Gen X, my dad's basically a baby boomer, and I've seen her like they split, like, you know, it's like I think my they split the bills and like the house payments or whatever. But like my mom did all like the housework, and then like my dad kind of did whatever he wanted to do, and then he still was like horrible to us. You know what I mean? So I'm like, he was still we'll say like unfaithful, you know, to my mom. And it's like, you know, she's doing everything she's supposed to do, both as like financially working and taking care of the kids and taking care of the house, and like it wears on you. So I'm like, I think a lot of my women are like, okay, we want equity. Like, so if that's the way I feel. I'm like, if either I'm like stay-at-home mom and you're fighting everything, or if we're both working.
But one thing I can appreciate about this generational woman, we recognize that doing it all means that you won't be doing something, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Being everywhere, that millennial woman, okay, the house is a mess, but she's a baddie, the bills are paid, she worked 2 jobs today, and she's taking over the world. She'll be a mom and clean the house tomorrow, you know?
Yeah.
So it's almost like that type of energy. Like we really do tackle everything.
Like,
and I feel like we are way more willing to juggle versus the generations before us that really just thought that all they needed to be was in the house. So when you talk about him, like when you're talking about that, like a man, you know, stepping out on somebody that's been in the house for him, cooking and cleaning and doing this and being the mother and holding up her end of the projected gender roles, you know, and you compare it to a woman that's barely holding up her end of the projected gender roles, but is still stimulating her man, you know. It's just, I don't know. I feel like this generation is willing to just still be stimulating for them versus a mother that's settled into her ways. Not saying that wouldn't be sexually attractive to a man, or that a man would have to be sexually stimulated 24/7 to be faithful.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. The stay-at-home moms were getting cheated on back in the 50s too. Like, I mean, they're fair
left and right
all the time.
At
like,
the office, no less.
Dominique, do you think do you believe women choose who they marry?
I mean, like, kind of passively, I feel like more so. You know what I mean? At least like in a hetero relationships, it's different for like, I guess, same sex. But like in hetero, I feel like it's more like a passive kind of choosing. Like you can choose to engage or not engage. I just think with the current climate, like with the social change we've seen, is like a lot of people are choosing to not engage just because like it's not what they want. So like that's why a lot of women are like, okay, well I can like pay my part, so I don't need you to stay here. Like I don't need to stay in something that's going to be abusive, whether it be physically or emotionally or financially. Oh, that's a big one too. Like people talk about financial abuse as well. So,
Chris, if 50-50 meant that you both cook, you both clean, you both pay bills at an equal weight, would you be able to handle that relationship? Like real 50-50? When I think 50-50, I'm thinking going 50-50 on the bills, and I still have to pay for the couch, and I still have to put curtains up, and I still have to buy a vacuum cleaner, and I still have to change the bathroom, this and that every month, you know? That's not 50-50 to me.
Yeah.
At all. Like when a man like pays the bills, it's not like I'm not going to be at home making the house a home, you know? So, you're paying the bills, but I'm booking a photo shoot. I'm booking a vacation. I'm making sure you have underwear and socks every season, you know? I'm making sure we have fresh pots and pans and dish soap and stuff hanging and fixtures and tapestry and new beds and sheets and things like that. So when you go 50-50 with a woman, are you making sure that you're putting in on other stuff like that and making sure that you're at least doing 50% of the cleaning, her laundry and yours sometimes when you need to?
Yes. I was just raised a little different. Again, it's perspective and it's whatever work. When it comes to 50-50, again, I feel like it's just a perspective thing. Whatever 50-50 is for you and your partner, and as long as it works for you and your partner and you and your partner are happy, then that's what matters. But in regards to the question, yes. Like I learned a lot. Like my dad, the ultimate provider. Like my mom worked and worked. My mom was a worker in healthcare for very long, but she would go to pay bills, and my dad would already have paid them. She would go to school to pay my tuition. My dad had already paid it up for the next 3 months. Like she, he said nothing. He would come in, here's money, honey. Like literally, she had nothing to worry about. So she did take the time to. My mother loved to decorate and things like that. She was the HGTV goddess. Like
My mom was HGTV as
I
well.
wish she would have just went
Yes.
another career path, because this would be a whole other conversation. I probably wouldn't be here because my mother would have millions, but she would own HGTV. Like she's so cold. But she was able to do that because she never had to worry. So all the extra stuff she wanted to do, she could do. And somehow my dad still find time to do that. My uncle, he would work 80 hours a week driving, being a truck driver and going here and there, but he still made it home, and he would do laundry, all of the laundry, and sit and fold it.
So from this point of view, I know you're saying it depends on your partner, but of course, you as a man, of course, stuff is all wonky now, so who knows where you would want to be as far as your gender roles. But just imagining that you would be wanting to lead your family, when you got into a relationship with someone, would you prefer for it to be 50-50, or would you want to be that provider that your parents were? Well, that your dad was.
It's in my DNA to be the provider. However, again, I'm not rigid. I can flow. So I would prefer to be the provider. But if my partner, I listen to my partner. If my partner is like, hey, like I want to do something, like I'm gonna roll with that. Like, okay, like I don't want to stifle my partner. There has to be a middle ground there. So if she's like, I want to be a part of XYZ bill, I want to take care of this or that, like, okay, let's talk about it. It's not just the end all be all. I'm gonna say what's what, and that's it.
Have you ever been in a situation where you wanted to go 50-50 with a woman and she just expected you to pay?
No. I've never just wanted to go 50-50. That's never been my thing.
Good
I
man.
will go 50.
Good answer.
But it's never been my thing. Like again, just different generations do different things, or were taught different things. I was taught to be a provider.
Do you feel like it's a certain level of respect that comes with being that provider?
For sure.
Yes, but again, there's a slant, because a lot of men who are in that provider role, a lot of times will have an ego behind it, which definitely makes things very difficult for the relationship with their women. It's like, well, I pay all the bills, so
Yeah, don't be getting mean around the first.
Yeah, actually,
ultimatum.
There's on TikTok, there's this like divorce lawyer TikTok person, and she was saying probably one of the most common divorces is like stay-at-home moms and like working dads, because like the dad just feels like an ATM, but like the mom are focused on like the kids, and so I guess the dad feels neglected, so it's like they want a divorce, but then like the mom's like, no, I need that money because I'm taking care of these freaking kids, like. So it gets, and they said it gets really nasty, and I'm like, I can see that. So I would want a more like maybe a more like 50-50, but I mean, again, because I'm like pan, so I don't really know. I'm a married woman, married man. We don't know yet. So
me personally, I'm here for all the gender roles. Like I'm not expecting my man to cook or wipe anything off or touch the kitchen or do any laundry. You feel me? Like I do get satisfaction out of being the person that does that. That's me providing. Yeah, I work and I do this and that, but my money doesn't go to bills. It goes to here.
Right.
So,
but see, that's an understanding that you and your partner
off.
have to have, though. That's the understanding that you and your partner have, and what works for you guys.
But another thing that I want to ask you about as a man, so you haven't always been 30-something, So starting off as like an 18-year-old man, starting to date 18, 20-year-old women, and these women are expecting you to just be a man the day you turn 18 and handle business and be a provider and be a leader. What is a time in an age where you feel like you were really able to do that consistently?
At 18. Literally,
okay.
At 18. I had to grow up really fast. Those are just my circumstances. I don't think that it's necessarily, I don't think that's the norm. I think it takes time to grow into being a man, and some of us were forced to grow up quicker than we should have, and probably improperly as well. But at 18, like I dropped out of school, and by the time everybody was graduating, I had my GED already. Like I'm done. I'm done with school. I had a job. I had a car. I had a child on the way. My lady at the time had to do nothing. You hear me? Everything was paid. I got up. I worked with MRDD. I was gone. I would work my regular 8 hours, and then I would do the overnight and get that sleep pay. And then I would be there during the daytime, and like I helped what I could in the house and with the baby. But she wanted for nothing. Before I got married, she wanted, my ex-wife, she wanted for nothing. Like I showed up, I'm doing dishes, I'm grabbing groceries, I'm paying for stuff.
I almost want to call her. Can we call her?
Still vouch for her.
I just.
I'm disclaimer.
What's the number?
Things did not go as planned, and things kind of deteriorated. But
I mean, you wasn't doing something.
That's what it was. So, like, no, again, it's about what you're taught. Like, I was taught that if you're gonna ask a woman out, you're gonna ask a woman out, and you're paying for that. She didn't ask to go out with you. You asked her out. So it's your obligation to take care of said date, said plan, said bill, all of that. And, you know, like not a coffee date. I'm for the coffee date. Like, let's meet and greet, coffee, with the plan to go on another date.
Okay.
So I see you today.
Another question. This is like a qualifying question. This is like a qualifying question, I guess. As far as a woman, okay, yeah, you're not expecting her to be paying half the rent if she's like, you know, staying with you and paying on dates that you invited her on. But what is something that you do expect out of her? At least.
Again, that comes
for like what type of woman do you have to be to get that type of treatment? Like, because not everybody is worth taking care of.
You were trying to trap me. No, again, it's the expectations should be set beforehand. Me, I'm a pretty simple person.
You trying not to get in trouble. I asked the question.
Ain't no trouble. I ain't worried about nobody. I do what I do. The expectation, like for me, I'm like ever so often, for me, the way that I work, I want a home cooked meal here and there. I want the bills paid. I don't want to think about having to pay the bills. I don't want to call anybody to pay a bill. I don't want to touch any of that. I want to make money. I want to give it to you, and you facilitate where it needs to go to make sure that everything runs smoothly. And then outside of that, ever so often when I say, hey, babe, you know what? I've been working real hard. If you ain't seen it, or even if you're busy with your own life, if I say, hey, on Thursday, you ain't got nothing going, I want this meal. I want this time. I want whatever. The answer should be yes. If you see I've been doing this and it's a Saturday afternoon and you're not doing nothing, I say, hey, babe, can you make me a sandwich and grab me a beer? The answer should be yes, you know, because I'm able to do that. And that's within reason. As long as I don't see that you're like going through anything.
Where do simple guys hang out at? Gang.
Yeah, hold on. I have to say.
And if you guys have a question, please feel free to call in at CT Time. Yeah. I know the number is down there somewhere. Go ahead, Dom.
Okay, so I want to say that's like a big disconnect between like the like millennial Gen Z men and women. It's like these Gen Z millennial men are like entitled to like this like husband treatment, but like they don't do husband stuff. Like, you know, that's the part that kind of gets me. I'm just like, so you want me to treat you like a king, but you don't. I don't have the resources to treat you like a king because this is the king would provide. You know what I mean? So like things like that. That's what I feel like mostly is the problem is like.
That's why I was actually asking him that question as to what type of woman would warrant being taken care of. What type of woman would you trust to give all the money and for them to facilitate all the bills, you know? Obviously, you see these qualities in a woman before you actually take her home and expect her to know how to act there, you know? Mm-hmm. But he's trying not to get in trouble.
That's a part of the dating process, though. You know, that's a part. Like when I first see you, I don't know you, so my initial attraction is purely physical. You know, wow, I like how you look. What's next? You see what I'm saying? And as we continue to grow and connect, then it's like, okay, so we go from dating to dating exclusively to, all right, we're in a relationship. Let's move in, like, and you go from there. But again, like, it's I don't know. I don't know why people make it so difficult. You know, it's really just a simple conversation, a candid conversation, and being self-aware and being able to have that conversation with your partner to know exactly what it is she's looking for, to communicate effectively what you're looking for, and if it lines up, great. If it doesn't, then you know you guys need to make some adjustments. Or
I mean, these younger men can't communicate. That's part of the problem as well too. They can't like process their emotions. Like it's just.
I was just about to say,
like that's part of the problem as well.
Do you feel like women these days just don't know how to ask for stuff?
No, women these days know how to ask. It's a matter of whether or not they're going to get a yes or a no back. Most women nowadays, I think, would prefer to just do it on their own, because the stigma is now, like with a lot of guys, is, why are you asking me for this? A $50 date is too much, you know, like just weird stuff like that. So women would probably more than likely just prefer to do it on their own rather than even ask, because a lot of men, it comes with baggage behind it. Quid pro quo. If I do this, then you have to do this, or it gets thrown up in your face, or any number of things. So just to save yourself the trouble, you just do it yourself.
Yeah, right. Definitely. That's how I feel. Like I
will take myself out to eat in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Nail date, out to eat, to the movies. I'll see y'all at 12 in a heartbeat. I'm not even gonna hold you. But
if you feel comfortable and that man gives you what he needs, then you know that you can go and ask that man and there won't be a problem. That's just a matter of knowing who it is that you're talking to.
Yeah. That's
Dominique, what are some red flags that you have seen in this generation as far as men asking to go 50-50 with you? Have you been there?
No, I don't think I've ever been quite like, I never wanted to move in with anyone. I never have done that because like I don't want them to have any ownership of my stuff. We're not married, like I don't want any like you have any legal kind of, because even if there's like some things you can do like kind
I'm
of like
never worried about my stuff. That's like the last thing I worry about. My stuff. Yeah, like I'll throw this stuff at the walls. I'll throw it at you. Fuck this stuff.
I mean, I'm chunky.
We're worried about other stuff.
So, they can't beat me up. This is a fair fight, okay? They can't.
I do not care about my possessions.
No, I mean, like, it just like it's a matter of like also like of money. Like I've seen just some nasty divorces. And if the woman makes more money, sometimes they do give like men do get like paid out every now and then. I see every now and then when the woman makes a lot of money.
You're making it sound horrible when it literally happens to men every single day. So that every now and then a woman having to pay alimony, that at least balances it, you know? That's how it should be.
Yes, I guess to an extent. I
know a couple women that pay child support.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's fair for whatever parent who has the primary custody. I mean, I think that's fair, but like, I don't know. I'm just thinking like, not me, man. Y'all
gotta move in together and get married before they have any ownership of your stuff. Yeah. Not even 5 years can make them own your stuff.
I mean, I have to be like someone I can trust. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Like you'll have to build with me is like trust, and that you don't like you're not gonna. I don't know. I think
one thing for sure, I can say that my generation, these females move in with anybody. No shade. I love y'all. I love y'all.
No, I feel like it's more watching. So.
These chicks will move in with anybody, and that
it's the men. They're the homosexuals.
It's like they're everybody. It's crazy. They just house hop, and everybody lives with everybody. I cannot tell you. I can't tell you no lies.
The men are doing that, and what I've noticed,
they are not worried about their stuff, sis. But I can see why you, as a single, established female, would be worried about your stuff with all these homeless dudes.
Mama, escute, por favor, please. It's not the women; it's the men that do this kind of thing. They're the homosexuals. It's literally the word for it. It's called hobosexual. Like they literally will like try to get with the girl to move in with her.
And what's crazy is I've seen it. It's a lot of women that not just allow it, but they prefer it. And see, I was raised, especially the younger women. My grandma taught me, God bless the man who has his own. And a lot of the relationships that I've been in, like these women are like, when are you moving in here? Because that's the thing. A lot of these guys move out and then they move in with the woman, because the woman is usually the first one out. They're the first one to get approved for the apartment. and then the man comes along and they move in. They ain't on the lease, none of that. They just move in, and it's like that's like a normal thing. And I'm like, y'all don't have your own. And a lot of the younger women are like, you got your own, or they get upset because it's like, why aren't you here at my house? Why aren't you over here more? Why aren't you here 24/7?
I cannot
I have
stand
my
that at
own,
all.
man. Like I'm going home.
Or
man.
like I was just talking to a friend actually, and he was saying that so he was talking to this girl for a few months and her lease was up and she was about to get a new apartment and he made her move in with him because she didn't trust her alone by herself. And he's literally about to break up with her, and it's probably been about 2 months. So you just cripple. So she's about to be homeless and get move into her house with her mom because you just didn't trust her. You didn't trust her.
Bad human. That's
Like you didn't trust her,
People
so
are
she shouldn't have moved in the first place.
no, that's just being a bad
Not
human.
trusting somebody isn't a reason for y'all to live together.
You should have never moved in to begin with. That's just being
He's
a bad
trying
human.
to like tie her down. Like he's trying to like keep her on the back burner. Like that's part of the reason too why I don't move in with anybody, because like no. I have my own stuff. No, sir. No. This is not.
We need to be on the lease. There will be no putting out of anyone.
Right.
We are on the lease. You don't like it, you better go sleep on the couch.
Yeah, but dale pa afuera. But yeah, come out.
Having the upper hand is definitely important as far as a dating woman with no ring on your finger, though.
Yeah.
And that is sad that feeling like somebody not being on the lease is you having the upper hand, but that's another reason for you to have your own because it's seen as that, you know?
But I mean, if you're to the point now where you're moving in together and you're not both gonna go on the lease, then that's a problem.
Yeah,
like, that shouldn't even happen to begin with. That's a problem. There is no reason why in a relationship.
But like you said, women are faster to get approved at apartments, and we do need to talk about how hard it is for Black men to find apartments. Their records must be squeaky clean. Most of them go years homeless, you know, doing this house hopping thing before they can actually find them a place. And it's sad that they have to, you know, muscle up to a woman that they barely even like or trust to have someone to lay their heads.
That's a Black community thing because the narrative has always been, you 18, get out my house. And
but if you're doing all that, I ain't going 50-50 with you. I tell you that.
The programs for women have always been there. A woman can go at 18 real quick, especially if you have a child.
Can we stop the chatter about these programs only being for women? Because men can apply for food stamp. Men can apply for Section 8s. Men can go to these places at 18.
Don't take it the wrong way. I didn't say only, but let's be clear about it. A lot of the programs and a lot of the systems that are put in place are more favorable for women than they are men. Just like you said,
there are a lot more programs for single mothers.
For a woman to get an apartment than it is for a man. I'm going to put that back on the table. It's much easier. The process is facilitated faster. Most of the programs are being used by women, and they're pushed toward women. That is the thing. Men can apply. I know plenty of men. Plenty of men who've got Section 8, but it's much easier because a lot of times too, those programs are geared toward people with children, and the woman 9 times out of 10 has the child, which means she's going to get the assistance before any male would, because the male doesn't have the child. So I'm not taking anything from women. It's not an attack on women. I'm saying that this is the narrative. And if that wasn't the narrative, where it's get out of my house at 18, and then everybody's scrambling to figure out what to do, and it's hard for me to get an apartment, but you can get an apartment. You got a place to live. Great. I like you. You're cute. We hit it off a little bit. Cool. I'm moving in. And now problem solved. I have a place to live.
Let's go half because we barely know each other.
You see what I'm saying? So it's a narrative thing. And then once we start to change that, where it's not get out at 18, where it's stay here until you figure out what you want to do, a lot of that goes away. And that's what I try to do as a parent is, you know, once my kids are old enough, it's like, hey, you don't have to go anywhere. Stay here and figure it out. I don't want you to go through that, you know? And it's going to change. It takes time. It takes some generations, but it will change. It's changing now.
Yeah, because I'm like, I went to college, and I'm like, I lived on my own for a while, and I'm back with my parents. Like, it's a yo-yo. I mean, I feel like he's right, just because, like, yeah, like WIC was meant. It's literally called like women, infants, and children. It's literally meant for single moms who can't afford things that like they need to buy. So yeah, it's gonna be a little bit more exposed to women, especially because if they have children, they're definitely gonna be first priority before like even me, single person, or like anyone else who may be like lower income. But I think yeah, there is a shift happening. I think people know that like people are living with their parents still, and they're like, but they have like their own basement or like their own like room or something like that. I think the biggest thing. What was I thinking about? What's the question again? I forgot what the question was.
Oh, we are sidetracked.
Oh,
We actually only have a few minutes left. I want to get you guys his final thoughts before I read the conclusion. So, final thoughts on going 50-50. Chris K, you don't want to. You feel like you should be the provider, and you love the respect that it provides you.
No, don't do that. Don't do that. No, I am a provider. However, I'm not against 50-50. Again, I am for whatever me and my partner decide is for us. You see?
So basically, girl, speak up, or you gonna be paying half.
For real.
Say, babe, take care of it.
I just hope that, in the event that I feel like you should be the emergency line. Like if something happens or I need you to kick in,
right?
You kick in.
Absolutely.
No questions asked, kick in, and then let me get
Ain't
back.
Ain't nothing worse than you providing all this time, and then when you fall on your butt, they can't do anything for you. Like, girl, what you been doing?
I'm a Capricorn. I want to fix it, okay? I want to fix it. I'm a Capricorn. We got to fix it.
Capricorns unite. I'm a Capricorn too. There we go.
Yes!
So while we do understand that 50-50 is not the ideal relationship to walk into, we also need to understand that we never truly throw all of our eggs into one basket. And what that means is, ladies, you can cook, you can clean, you can spoil your man, but neither of you even know what each other's middle name is. That's a problem. The man can keep his woman from lifting a finger, yet he doesn't even know her favorite color or hobby. Though marriages are failing more and more throughout the years, a lot of complaints are either their partner is too much or not enough for them. The same goes for relationships as well. I just wanted to emphasize that marriage, just because marriage can be considered the compromise, you don't truly know what you're stepping into. It's a giant leap of faith. You're just hoping your partner is meeting you at least halfway there. I know we're all going to say, it's not always true, even coming from my own mouth. Your 50% is not their 50%. And so on. For my producer, has yet to see the successfulness or failing relationship outside the hetero norms besides that on TV. But he has seen real divorces, real divides, real struggles in marriages and relationships. And every single time it's a struggle worth the value. This episode isn't about the settling of the 50-50 relationship because some people literally barely give you 10% of themselves. He's simply saying that 50-50 should be a start in a serious relationship. And hopefully one day, 2 or 3 or more, you all can go all in just like you claim. And that's not a gamble. Either way, we just hope that the individual is honest when they ask to go 50-50. And that is this producer's conclusion. Jerry's final thoughts, much. Alrighty, y'all. And like I said before, this will be our very first podcast that you can actually see us. So thank you for tuning in on Spotify, Anchor, YouTube, Facebook, and soon to be Channel 5. My name is Aziza Red. And we still have time for one more conclusion.
I'm gonna leave that up to Dom.
Ray wants you to say something, Dom.
Okay, yeah, because I feel like the main thing is that as a whole, if you're in a relationship with someone, you need to communicate clearly and very directly what you want. I think if someone can afford to be a provider, yeah, you should do that.
They will be.
Huh?
Then they will be, if they can afford to be a provider.
I was
provider, man or woman.
But I think if you're a provider, if you're wanting to be that provider person, you should do that work before you get that privilege of having someone to be at your beck and call. And that's probably the biggest issue, is that like these men are feel entitled when they haven't done that work, or done that work to like to make you like feel like they're compromising. No, like competent. That's the word, competent. That they're competent.
And Dominique, a personal question that we might not even have time for.
Okay.
What is something that would make you feel comfortable enough for a man to move in with you?
Oh, I don't know.
What are some red flags that have to be checked off? Some boxes.
Definitely, we need a psych eval for sure. I want to know.
Girl, so she was on this mess last time.
That's a whole
but like
she was saying, "Oh, he can't be a Republican," so you know it has to be a whole bunch of stuff.
Yeah, like he can't be a Republican. He needs to be like either like probably just like if he's a socialist or communist, we can work that out better. Because I'm socialist myself, but definitely
a
like
psych eval.
Yes. Well, even out here, a narcissist. My dad's a narcissist. What do you mean I'm not doing this one? Like I've seen what my mom has gone through. Like, so I'm not doing that in my life. Like, I'd rather be alone before I commit myself life to a narcissist. Like, period.
Would a psych eval tell you if somebody's a narcissist? Yes. Or would they just tell you if he's schizophrenic?
Well, no. There's so many you can do. Like, I've done a few of them. Like, I would want to know.
Hopefully
like,
none that came in the mail.
No. Like, I have a psychologist. Mama, por favor. I have a psychologist.
Okay, let me find out. This is not a Cosmo quiz.
No. I have like someone who actually does like actual assessments with me, like someone like that. Like I want to know, like mostly like that's probably the biggest thing I want to know. Like so, like what's your childhood trauma? Okay, and what do you do to cope and to like not project those?
That's stuff that you're supposed to find out, like as the relationship goes. You want to figure out my childhood trauma within 10 minutes of meeting you? Boom, I'm alive.
Because anytime I'm meeting you, I'm thinking about moving in with you. I'm like thinking like, how is this gonna go? Like, what's your vibe? Like, do we even have the same sort of like goals in life? Like, I feel like I couldn't be with anyone who wasn't like into social justice or into like making the world better.
I'm a Virgo. I have those layers, and you gotta be willing to peel me. If you slice me open, I'ma just die. Peel it, okay? Take your time, okay?
Yeah, I mean.
Think about that, okay? Be willing to peel somebody. You don't always got to cut right in.
Well, I don't. I mean, I'm not going to ask them on like the first date. I mean, the first date I'd probably just ask them for like their like birth time and like their birthday. And,
hey, you know those aren't right.
Huh?
Birth times aren't right. People are like, oh, my rising because I was born at 6:15. The time that they put on your birth certificate is just when the nurse does the paperwork, not when you were born.
That works. My cousin's an astrologer. That's fine. She said that's fine. Like, if my cousin's an astrologer, no, like that's fine. Whatever they have a birth certificate is fine to use as your birthday.
Oh, and Chris, this is Dom. She's like totally single. Yeah.
See what you did there.
She's like really cute too. Do you see her? Do you see her? She's glowing today. Yeah, you should get a number. Anyway, you guys, I'm patiently waiting for this theme music to come on. We are supposed to be out at 8:14 and it is stretching. So it might as well be, because I was seeing the sparks low-key. I was low-key seeing them. I'm not going to press
but
it.
We're both Capricorns. That's so bad.
Girl, he'll ask you. He'll ask you, apparently. Apparently, he'll ask you. So we'll just wait.
Wait, what?
We'll wait. We'll ask. He's supposed to ask you because that's his vibe.
No. Yeah, but like,
and welcome you guys. King McCall just tuned in for our last minute.
He did with his little icon thingy. Okay, coñazo.
Chris is pleading the fifth. I love it.
I like literally people always like, you're gonna find something. I'm like, I literally don't know whose type I am. Like literally I don't know, you guys.
You give me like adult Lisa Simpson.
Yo, like literally that was my name. She grew up. They literally
for real
Simpson in high school, legitimately.
Like that's the vibe you give, adult Lisa Simpson.